So, hello everyone. Welcome to Wednesday night edition of the War Zone. As you can see, there's just two of us here tonight. Donovan is not feeling well. He had some work done, root canal and all that, so he's kind of out of it, anesthesia. And as you can also see, we have Gary, the five-star general, who is not where he usually would be doing the War Zone. He is a little bit incapacitated at the moment due to some issues. I'm sure he'll tell you all about it. And so if you can please do us a favor and share, because for whatever reason, something is going on with the Facebook Live videos to where it's not garnering a lot of views and shares or views for some reason. So if you can do us a favor and share the video, we would greatly appreciate it. And so tonight we're just going to talk about self-preservation. And we just thought we'd take this opportunity, while Gary is getting ready to, be at his full capacity again. We want to talk about how important it is to preserve self, regardless of what it is you do, especially when you're in the role of an actor, somebody who is super active and out and about and, doing for others more than they're doing for themselves. We wanted to, just kind of hone it in and talk about health a little bit. And so, Gary, how you doing?
Oh, good, man. I already knew what was gonna happen, so I've been kind of ducking it. But I knew the first day that I showed up that they were gonna stick me up in here. Well, they ain't had no choice really, because I told the nurse when I got here. I mean, have you ever seen the movie John Q? And like, what you talking about? You'll find out if you try to put me up out of here. So it what it was. But I mean, I'm doing okay. I'm in good spirits. I'm dealing with what I normally deal with. Y'all, some people just don't know what I deal with on a daily basis. Those days I'm sitting up on the show and just smiling and joking and in extreme pain. So it's a normal day for me.
Well, hopefully, the normal day for you will become abnormal. I've never had a kidney stone or any of those kind of things, but I heard it's extremely painful, and I've heard a lot of women liken it to that of childbirth, and some women have actually said, "I'd rather have a child than to go through trying to pass kidney stones and all of that." And so I don't know if you mentioned it, but how do you develop a kidney stone? Huh.
You can get it several different ways. I mean, some of it is just dietary issues. I think when I first got them, I was eating too much fried food, and I ended up getting them, and they are extremely painful. And what I tell people is, and even the nurses and the doctors know, because I go to the same hospital every time, Sugar Land, St. Luke's, and my pain level, I can take more pain than the average person. So when they be like, "What's your pain? 1 to 10?" I be smiling because a 10 don't even bother me. So for me, my pain level is probably at a 30 when yours is at a 10. And I can take it. I've been conditioned to take it. That's all I understood. But I mean, you can get it just by eating the wrong foods, and after I got them, and we got rid of them because I couldn't pass them. I had to have invasive surgery. I ate right, and they still came back. So they are extremely painful. That's all I can tell people. I think I got two of the worst things that you could ever get, which is kidney stones in my past and diverticulitis. And diverticulitis will break you down and have you can be the strongest dude in the world or have you on your knees crying.
And what exactly is diverticulitis?
The devil. I'm gonna be honest with you. For me, what it was, I started. It starts with chills with me. It could be 95 degrees outside. I just start getting chills. Then I can't hold anything on my stomach. No matter what I eat, I can't hold it. And it's just what it was. And come to find out, what was triggering my diverticulitis is things were not dissolving in, I would eat a lot of peanuts, for example, a lot of corn. Well, that stuff doesn't dissolve in your system. So it sits in pockets in your colon. Mm-hmm. It doesn't dissolve. And it just infected my colon. So it wasn't that I was eating bad. Y'all that out there eating corn, that corn don't dissolve in your system. And you end up getting diverticulitis. One of my best friends, I mean, he be getting it. And he real strong dude. Break him down too. So I mean, it can, when it hits you, it's gonna hit
you. So is it a lot of corn, or is it just corn in general?
Well, it's just corn in general. I mean, just the things that you eat, and you never think about it. One of the things is I see a lot of people, I eat a lot of trail nuts. Nuts do not dissolve in your system. So, I can't eat peanuts. I can't eat any form of peanuts, walnuts, none of that. Because it just won't dissolve, and it will infect your colon. Trust me when I tell you. And then you don't want to have the surgery to, repair your colon, because they got to take the infected section out. They got to cut it out. That's how you end up with the bag on your stomach for a certain amount of time. And then they got the way they cut you. If you just, even though if you just looking at your cut, it'll turn your stomach as big as that cut is. So, you have to get a wound vac to be able to close that wound properly. So, I had to be able to wear this wound vac under my suits and different things. I'm going to school board meetings and nobody knew that I had a whole wound vac under my suit. So, it's an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, it sounds like, and I'm looking at some of the comments here, and people are saying different things that they have, and some people are saying that they have kidney stones as well, with different things contributing to that. Kiki, how you doing? Says, per my urologist, kidney stones can also be just hereditary. No matter what you do, it's hereditary. If it's hereditary, you'll get them. And so, from what I understand, there's a lot of things that are hereditary. But there's a lot of things that you can avoid as well. And, Gary, you sound like the things that one should avoid, especially with the diverticulitis. I hope I said that right. And, kidney stones. I think someone said a lot of salt contributes to that. And I admittedly do not have any inside knowledge about kidney stones. I guess if I had one or two, then I would. And so I guess really what we want to do is, really just kind of have this, because we won't be here all night. Obviously, Gary's, a little busy, so we won't be here for the full hour. But
I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
Well, I'm going to let you decide that. But, we really just want to have this conversation about self-preservation. Because a lot of times when people are in, I don't want to say the public eye like a celebrity or anything like that, but when a person is out there helping people such as Gary, a lot of times there's a lot of self-neglect going on. And it's not something you're doing on purpose. It's just because you're busy. You're busy, you're traveling, and, it's almost like you're Batman, the way you or Superman. You put your cape on and then you go out there and you try to help everybody. But the last person that you tend to help is yourself. And so then, you find yourself, sort of in the condition that Gary is in. And Gary, I think you've known for a while that you've been neglecting yourself, true or not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so, I did.
And it's always, I'm going to get to it right after I do this, or right after I get back from here, I'm going to go take care of it. But you never get a chance, because let's admit it, somebody always needs some help somewhere, right? Especially when you're dealing with our people, there's always something you can go and lend your activist skills to. But, I just think you have to put yourself, and I'm not speaking to Gary just specifically, I'm speaking to everybody. You have to put yourself on the agenda. You have to put yourself on the agenda to where you say, you know what, now I need to go save me. BRB, as the young people will say, be right back. I gotta go save me. And so, Gary, in hindsight, what would you do differently?
Well, I mean, I would, if I say this, I mean, a lot of people think I'm crazy. You know, when I die, I've only required one song be played at my funeral, and that's Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. So I probably wouldn't change anything about how I did it because I clearly understand why I'm doing it. May have been a different room. I think it's the same floor that I was on when I initially got sick. It's kind of crazy because I'm sitting like in the same spot. You know, I had to find out what happened, and I asked about. I think right before I went to Minnesota, that was part of the reason I was in a funk, but nobody knew. See, I'm an open book when I feel like talking, and I wanted to find out what happened the day I came to the hospital. So I've only seen one picture, and when I looked at the picture, I couldn't look at it anymore than maybe 5, 10 seconds because I think I had like 9 or 10 machines keeping me breathing. I was intubated. That's why I'm not scared to be intubated with the COVID because I've been intubated before. I've been strapped down to the bed with the tube in my mouth. I mean, down my throat. I've done that, and it's not a comfortable situation. Um, but I showed up at the hospital. wasn't feeling well that night, and I showed up at the hospital, and they immediately took me into emergency surgery. No questions, no big hoorah. Just took me in there. And when the surgery was over, they came out and told my people, told Eric Albert that how you doing? Hold on, y'all. Yes, ma'am. Hey. Okay. Well, I'm good. You bring me some good dope. Whatever good dope you got. Oh no, I don't want no morphine. That's the yeah, they give me that junk edge. I'll be in there like Ray Charles. Yeah, but so they told my people you can go in there and visit him. They turned around to get their bag to go in the recovery room to see me. And the doctor came back out and said, no, you can't visit him right now. His lungs just collapsed. His kidneys just shut down. Now, I've never had kidney problems or lung problems. And this is the exact words that he told him that you need to get on the phone and call his people because he won't make it through the weekend. He didn't say, I don't think he'll make it. He said he won't make it through the weekend. And that Monday he came and they say his mouth like fell to the floor. And, they asked him, they say, what's wrong? He say, he's still here. Well, according to them, what they told him, you don't know Gary Monroe because he ain't going to just lay there and die. He ain't going to just do it. So when people tell me to slow down, I get it. I get it. I mean, you even tell me a lot of days and I appreciate that. But my assignment comes from a higher power. And some days, I've gotten so much in my life. He's given me so much that I call it a sacrifice. And I sacrifice me to be able to help people that are not as fortunate as me. In any way that I can help them. And I know some days I shouldn't. I mean, I'm standing at a podium one night fighting for kids in a school board meeting and didn't even have a clue that my stomach was septic. I was dying standing at the podium fighting for the kids. But I never thought twice about it. I did it all over again. So, some days this whole world we live in is just bigger than us. And that's why I take the activism so tough. I mean, I take it so serious because this is what he gave me. I didn't ask for this. I never had a clue this is what I would be doing at the age of 52. But I mean, I do it pretty good. And to answer your question, I probably wouldn't change anything because I would fight for you. Don't know your daughter would fight for her tooth and nail, just like I would fight for anybody else. And because I do that, a lot of people now have a voice and they're not afraid and they're standing up for themselves. So that's what it is for me.
So when you hear the term use wisdom, what does that mean? Because I was kind of having this conversation online with somebody. They were talking about how being forced to stay in the house due to these COVID restrictions and stuff, they weren't going to do that because they don't live in fear and they don't want people to tell them what to do. And so I made a post that basically said, it's not about fear. No one should be in fear, but everyone should use wisdom. So what does that mean to you as far as using wisdom when it comes to you and your activism and your body?
Well, like I said, I mean, I use wisdom every day. I mean, I'm smart about what I do. Now I know my body like like people wouldn't know. I know my body. That's how I knew if I came to the hospital I was gonna stay. I already knew. Everything I told them that was wrong with me, that's what was wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? The pensioner with them putting the stents in the wrong way, the urinary tract infection. I called everything. They went and ran the test. It didn't take them 2 minutes to run the test because everything they ran, it came back exactly the way I told them. So, I use my wisdom and some days I push myself to the extreme. I don't go over the edge. But when my body tells me to stop, I stop. When it tells me to stop, I stop. That's when the wisdom really kicks in for me because I can overexert myself. I'll overexert myself in a heartbeat. Even though it might be 20 degrees outside, I can dehydrate in a heartbeat. So I got to really pace myself. And I've been doing a better job at that because I had to learn how to juggle all this stuff, activism, real life, school. I had to put all that stuff into everything, the war zone, and I figured out a way to make it work to where I'm just not racking my brain. But with this, I mean, it's just, people like, man, you need to take a break. I ain't got no choice now. I'm gonna take a break. But think about it. I made sure that I could take my break, enjoy the holidays before I go back to school. Have my surgery before I go back to school. So I put everything where I needed it to be.
I remember listening to the minister, wasn't that long ago, and he was saying how, and I'm paraphrasing at this point, but his wife and his children, everyone around him, they didn't really choose that life, as far as all that he does for Black people. And sometimes he, looks back and wishes kind of that he would have, maybe spent more time, gave more time to his family. Save some of him or more of him rather for his family. And what does that sound? What am I trying to say? What do you think about that phrase there?
What I think is, I give you an example of how I think, because I think different than a lot of people. One of the best songs that I ever did was called My Dance. And I did the regular version and I did the remix version for gospel singer James Fortune and Fire. I put the rap vocals on that song and that album was nominated for a Grammy. My dance ain't your dance. That's what the hook says. And what I mean by that is my walk ain't somebody else's walk. So, I get with what they saying, man, you should devote more time to your family. I gave my family everything that the higher power told me to give them. But when the higher power bestows upon you an assignment, you gonna do what he tell you to do. I couldn't understand why me. It's not that I didn't want to do the assignment. Because I love doing the assignment. I love beating these folk up and getting justice. But why me? And I didn't understand until I watched the Netflix, The Bible. And in the first chapter, it told me about Saul. How God gave Saul an assignment. And he didn't do it exactly the way he told him to do it. So he shortened up his days. So I'm going to give you, hold on, a visual. Now, I can't, you see how I'm clicking these lights? I'm sitting in here at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just took a breathing treatment. All these lights off. And then all of a sudden, there's a bright light just like what you see. And the higher power had a talk with me. He gave me my assignment. I have no choice but to do it. I don't neglect the family. I make sure that they good. And I just got to do the assignment. I don't want to find out if he'll shorten my days. That's all I'm saying. So I just keep grinding, man. But the good thing is my kids grown. So I ain't got to rack my brain on that. I ain't got to be around here trying to be they friend, you know, because everybody ain't your friend. Everybody ain't your partner.
Yeah, true indeed. And a lot of activists, you know, including that of Farrakhan, they pretty much said the same thing, you know, is what I'm supposed to do, right? I've heard a lot of pastors say the same thing, you know, although I wasn't always home a lot and whatever. This was my assignment. This was my calling, and I would do it all over again. Now, in regards to health, do you think there's something you could do differently?
It's always something you could do different, you know, but when you on planes all the time, you constantly on planes, you jumping out off planes, you going to strange cities, you know, you dealing with the COVID, everything locked down, you're kind of at the mercy of the fast food restaurant. You can only eat what you can eat some days. And trust me, I hate fast food. I get sick of it. I love to cook my own food. So, you know, I can cook my own food. I can do what I do. I mean, it's a lot of things we can change about how we do stuff, you know, and I see, you know, people like lacking my own health. Man, I'm so healthy inside. Do you know what it feels like to help somebody that can't help themselves? Do you realistically know what it feels like to not get paid to do an assignment and all you get is a hug from a special needs child? Maybe I'm not in it for what other people are in it for. And like I say, I sacrifice certain things to be able to accomplish the goal. But I think when the higher power tells me your body's tired, it's time for you to rest, that's when he sends me to the hospital or he shuts me down and he makes me just take the rest that I need.
No doubt. And so, you know, I understand it's, you know, totally about traveling and, you know, going places where there's not a whole lot of food options, because I'm a vegan. And so, you know, there's not always vegan food available. So I have to, you know, improvise, or I never really compromise, because compromising for me is me eating meat, and I don't do that. But I try to, you know, do things, you know, and I'm just speaking for myself personally. I try to foresee what I might need to do. So I might need to take something or map out where there is some foods, and I get it in the airport. It's not a whole lot of options. I'm one of those people who don't like to eat fast food much either, because it's just not good for you. Every blue moon I do it. I'm a person that cooks at home as well, but I'm also an avid exerciser. It's probably the wrong way to say it, but I exercise quite a bit. Couple years back, I was doing it for health. And then, you know, I lost a bunch of weight, and I was like, you know, kind of doing it for vain reasons. Now I'm doing it because I'm like, well, what if this Armageddon thing does jump off, or this revolution does really take place? And I have a vivid imagination, so forgive me. You know, we might need to go running off in the woods or something like Harriet Tubman style. I want to be able to do that, you know, and I'm not an activist like you are, Gary, out and about. You know, my activism is really from behind the computer scene, and some things that I do on a more of a private level. But I just feel like it's important for us to stay ready, no matter what the assignment is. And I guess it's just really me giving you a little pushback, because I get it. we all have an assignment from God, but I just don't think God will want us to go through. Maybe it's not unnecessary to you. Maybe from my standpoint, being a little bit ignorant to your situation, but I don't think He will want us to go through things that are a little unnecessary. Because some of the things that we can control ourselves, right? Some of it we do have some say so over what happens to us. At least I think we do. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, what I say is I'm gonna talk to the Christians for a second. Who am I to complain about kidney stones when Jesus dealt with cat o' nine tails? Who am I to complain about the COVID when they nailed him to a cross? The sacrifices that He made are a far cry from what the hell I go through on a daily basis. I'm being honest with y'all. I have no control over this life. This is the way that I feel. No matter who I report to, God, Jesus, Buddha, whoever, I have no control over whether I'm going to wake up. That's what I believe. I believe it's a higher power that wakes me up. And the only thing I do, whether people believe me or not, is I just do what He tells me to do. We have discussions on this all the time. I got to call up there and holler at him and tell him that you really ain't giving me a blueprint. See, because if God gave me a blueprint, I would be cussing everybody out. If He told me how to do it, I wouldn't be cussing everybody out. He just told me just get it done. And a lot of people don't believe that, but I don't worry about the sacrifices. I don't worry about it. I just go out to meet you honestly and I just do it. I never knew when I first started, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just know this is what you need to do. And I took that first assignment and I ran with it. And that first assignment, I'll never forget, was just band uniforms, molded band uniforms that they were trying to make some black kids wear. And 8 kids out that band said no. They didn't want to give the band $2,500 and they ended up having to spend $95,000. $95,000. So I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, a lot of people, if you healthy, then you'll be here longer. You have no control over that. Healthy people die every day. I just know I ain't gonna die hungry.
Well, I'm not trying to raise your blood pressure.
No, I'm good.
Well, I'm just gonna push back on that a little bit because I'm not a Christian. I've not gone to church in years. In fact, if I were to go in there, I think a lightning rod would come and just like tear me up. But I do know the Bible to a fair degree, and the Bible does say that you're supposed to take care of your body. You're supposed to exercise. You're supposed to eat right. You're supposed to do all those things that would help you engage in a longer life. Right? It talks about not defiling the temple and all that. So I guess I say all of that to say is we do have some control. We have a lot of control. Actually, God gives us free will, and He also says faith without the works is dead. And, we can go on and on forever. So there are some things that you can do, but it has to be a choice. But I will say this, when you said that you didn't get a blueprint, and I think a lot of people fail to realize is activism is on the job training a lot of times. Like you said, you didn't get a blueprint.
I want to ask Al's comment. A continuous hospital stay is more than a wake up. You don't need a higher power to keep sending you these signs. You exactly right. What I need is you able-bodied Negroes to get off your fucking ass and help me. If you would get off your high-powered ass because you know how to do this, and you would stand front line with me, I wouldn't have to do it every day by my goddamn self. That's why I'm running myself ragged, because the soldiers don't want to be soldiers.
And you know what?
I just have to say that.
No, you're 2,000% right. And I want to say this before I go to this other point. And a lot of times it kind of goes to your point. A lot of people think activism is easy. Oh, that looks easy. But what they don't realize is, and this is just a symptom, right? They don't realize is that you not only wear your body down, but you wear your mind down. You have a lot of conversations with yourself, like, why am I doing this? your reputation may or may not be on the line. You know, there's certain things you can't ever go back and do again, right? Like, say if you want to go get a regular job, punch a clock, your activism might come up to haunt you, even though you're doing the right thing. And so it's not easy. And that's why a lot of people won't do it. I always say this, especially when it comes to our men. Our men sit in the living room and they peek behind the curtains from the confines of their homes, and they want somebody else to do it. They want somebody else to go out there and take the proverbial bullets, or, you know, whatever comes with being an activist. They want somebody else to do it, but they gonna root for you on the sidelines. And it's funny because I saw a picture of Dr. Umar Johnson. He was talking about over the last couple of days, I guess some people who don't like him, they were supposed to converge on his school and they're supposed to picket and riot and all this other stuff. So he calls all these people on his, you know, social media, hey, on December 2nd, I need y'all to come stand in solidarity with me, because all these people are supposed to come and picket and protest, and they didn't show up. But the picture that he showed of the people who did show up, you know, it was less than 20 people out there. Less than 20 people out of all the followers that he has. Less than 20 people stood in solidarity with him. But they want him to go forth and educate our children and do all of this work. This man is still trying to raise money. Regardless of what you think he did with the money, I believe Dr. Umar is sincere. I just think that he has he hasn't really articulated exactly to the, but see, he's trying to please the naysayers, so that's a different story. But he should have had way more people out there. But he got all these Negroes behind the computer on a keyboard. I call them keyboard gangsters. They want to tell you what you should and should not be doing, but they ain't showed up to not one protest because they don't want their boss to see him. Oh, somebody might see me. Oh, I would, but it ain't even gave a raggedy $5 to the cause.
It's a lonely life some days. It ain't no fun. It ain't as much. The only fun you have is when you really just be eating folk up and you be giving it to them. You know, but when the camera's gone and it's just you know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. When I cut these lights off, it's just me in here tonight. I gotta wait for that doctor in the morning, man. But, you know, I don't really worry about nothing because I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. I mean, and what Umar goes through with the 20 people, I'd have seen that too many times. But they quick to tell you what you need to be doing, how you need to take care of yourself, how you ain't doing it right. You should have did it differently. Well, no. Can I get some help? Because you can't dictate the game if you ain't in the game. That's how I feel. Like my dad used to say, you'll never understand why a man's feet hurt until you walk in his shoes. You'll never understand what I'm going through until you do what I do. You know, I see my friend Cynthia Farms on here. Y'all don't need to know what she do for a living. Just know she take care of the seniors in our neighborhood. So how can I turn down a phone call from somebody like that may call me and say, look, man, they got somebody messing over our senior citizens. It ain't like I can call an army that's behind me. Look, I go call 9, 10 of my partners. Man, we finna go to war for these seniors. Man, okay, son, I'm on my way. Tell me where I need to be. I'ma just boot up and go. Who else gonna stand up for them, man? Somebody, I'm so grateful no matter what nobody think. I always think about it when I get my food, when I go to my restaurants and get my food, that I don't have to get it at the back door. Somebody sacrificed for me to be able to come through the front door. So that's why I don't mind busting my behind and quick to tell a senior in a heartbeat. Don't even know them, just meet them. Thank you for what you did for me, man. Thank you for what you did for me. I know what you went through so that I could walk through the front door of a restaurant, so that I could drive down certain streets, so I can walk into certain stores. You know, so, I mean, the sacrifice that I give, a couple of kidney stones here and there, I'll be all right. They cut me open and get them out. I'll be down for about 3-4 days, raising hell. I'm already in here raising hell. Because I told you, man, folk come up to me. I'm steady telling this man, Look here, dog. I got rolling veins, man. They don't work like your veins. You know, you're gonna have to go get the thing look like a ultrasound machine to find my veins. Oh, well, I'm gonna just stick you as many times. No, hold on, boy. You get 3 shots at greatness. That's it. If you don't find them veins in 3 shots, I don't know how we gonna do this. Oh, he catch attitude. He catch attitude. I'm trying to hold my tongue. Do you want the flu shot? I didn't ask you for no flu shot. I don't want the flu shot. I don't want the COVID. I don't want no vaccine. None of that. Oh, well, if it was a vaccine and we had to give it to you, you get your ass knocked out. And he looked at me, say, man, won't you get, matter of fact, don't even touch me no more. You got bad intentions. Don't even touch me no more. So, you know, the thing is I'm just who I am, man. And I know I gotta slow down some days, and my baby on here watching me. Y'all don't know who she is, but you know, my baby on here, and you know, I got reasons. I need to see her, you know, have her first kid. So I need to be around here for a little while. You know what I'm saying? I need to hang out for a little while. But if I don't get no help, then you know that's gonna run me out the game faster than anything. It's not the actual being tired and all that. It's the fact that mentally sometimes I just don't want to do it because I just don't have no help. I can get it done. It just takes longer when you do it by yourself. So what we could do in 3 or 4 days may take me a year and a half because I'm just one person. So some days we got to understand that.
Yeah, and so I mean, I think since the beginning of time, well, our time over here, you know, Harriet Tubman was, you know, they said she was talking about the same thing. You know, she could have freed more slaves, except for they didn't know they were slaves. You know, she didn't have help. Nat Turner, when he was trying to help us, there was just as many Negroes working against him. So, I mean, you know, Marcus Garvey, we can go on and on and on and on. And I really think you hit the nail on the head, Gary, when you say, well, for those people who are, you know, saying I should be doing this and I should be doing that, well, why are you telling me what to do? Have you showed up to anything that I was fighting for? Then did you come and even just say, you know what, I can't stay long, but I'm here to support you. I'm just telling you, like, did you do any of that?
No, and I'm gonna be honest with you. It's always an excuse as to why they can't do it. You know, and y'all know I keep it 100 with y'all, so I'm gonna make it do what it do right now. So just forgive me. When you at home fucking, I be working. When you enjoying your holidays, I be working. Because I figured out, like the school system, like Christmas holidays, you taking your holidays, them lawyers still be in them buildings. They still be working. So I have to keep working to stay ahead of the game with them too. So I mean, when you out drinking a drink or going bowling or you on a cruise, I'm working. This is why I'm as good as I am. This is why I stay ahead of them all the time. And I can think fast. I can outthink them on my feet. But the problem with that is a lot of days you do it, you don't even get a thank you. And you work harder for your community than you do for a lot of other communities. You'll always get different ethnicities that come and won't help. I always do. I've earned that. They come, they will come. But it's the black folk. And some of the black folk with the toughest assignments, I can't even get a thank you. You sit on me in a heartbeat and never think twice. I mean, I worked one assignment one time, and I think it was my second assignment, and it ended up being a big money assignment. I didn't charge. I was out of town. I came back a couple days early just because I wanted to help. And I didn't ask for anything, but just to hear the lies. Oh, I'm still waiting for them to pay me. 6 years later, I already seen your settlement agreement 3 years ago. You ain't got to lie. I didn't ask you for anything. The only thing you could have did was tell me thank you. It's hard to work for our people, and it's hard to satisfy our people a lot of times, no matter what we may think. So, but the ones that do say thank you, those are the ones that make my day. Those are the ones that give me the energy when I'm tired.
So, what do you think can be done to get more people to help you? And in your opinion, why don't you think they do? Not just you, but like I said, Dr. Umar Johnson, who has a really big platform, I mean, 20 people at best. Why do you think people, they don't?
I think that everybody's not built for this. It looks like gold. It looks like, oh, he's an important person. And, they get to see the end results. That's what I call it. They get to see the press conferences. They don't get to see you staying up all night long doing research. You see what I'm saying? They don't get to see you running back and forth across town to talk to witnesses on different situations. So they get to see the fluff. But when they get a bar of the real, they don't want no parts of this. They don't want no parts of it. So anybody that says that activism or advocacy is easy, you're not very good at it. You're not very good at it. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes sacrifice. To be a good activist, you are going to sacrifice. Me, I'm not a local activist anymore. No matter how much I want to be, I get calls all over the country. You feel what I'm saying? And I will go. I got a call right now. I got to figure it out. Well, they got to figure it out. I mean, because right now I'm down. Boston, Massachusetts. See what I'm saying? I'm not local anymore. So, it's not about doing things in a bold way. John Q say people don't help because 5-Star does things in a bold way. That's not true, because you got some people that do it in a meek way and they still won't show up. They are not built for it. I'm telling you, they're just not built for it. Demetra got more soldier in her. I don't want to cover your ears for a second. Some of you dudes got more pussy in you than the women you be chasing. You can take it down. I can rock with these women activists better than I can rock some of these dudes, man. Some of y'all just ain't built for this, man. I know an activist right now in Houston, and I ain't gonna out him. You go to his page and you look at the stuff he be writing on his page, and that shit sound, whoa. Negro, you can't even put 2 sentences together. You ain't wrote none of that shit on that page. But you want it so bad. But you won't do the work. You won't do it. You're going to have to do the work. If you want to say I got 5 stars, you're going to have to do the work. And that's one thing about my people. My coaches taught me a long time ago. Hard work beat talent when talent don't work hard. I'm going to be the best at what I do because of my work ass. That's all it boils down to. So a lot of people just don't show up, D, because they not built for it. They faking like they built for it, but they ain't built for it.
They're not built for it at all. Some of them don't even pretend that they're built for it. They just don't even get involved. You think about someone like Malcolm X, who, was murdered for helping our people. Now, we weren't there, right? But you would think the people who were there, they would say, okay, golly, this man gave his life to help our people. Let's at least pick up the ball. Let's pick up the ball and run with it. Martin Luther King, let's pick up the ball. Let's run with it. But we are in the same situation as we were back then. And I said, should probably worse at this point, because at least they had some fight in them. Most of our people are just like, somebody else will do it. I'm gonna just wait on Jesus, the Democrats, or Beyonce, even Barack. I'm gonna wait on somebody else to do it. And so I don't know. I just know that, being an activist, especially on your level, it is a very, not totally thankless, but for the work that you do, because you said you needed to go to Boston. There should be at least 10 people say, you know what, we'll go instead. Hand us the ball. We're on our way. Don't worry about it. You stay home. You get well. You do whatever you need to do. We got it. Where are those people?
They not gonna show up. I can tell you that. Let me say this here, man. I'm not willing to change who I am. I'm not gonna change how I do what I do. I think as I get older, I'll slow down more. But I'm not gonna change, man. If some of y'all comfortable being soft as a box of booty, that's your business. If you scared to open your mouth and speak up for your peoples, that tell me if you scared to speak up for your peoples, you scared to speak up for yourself. You won't speak up for your wife. You won't speak up for your kids. If it come down to it, you gonna shut your mouth. And that's why some of you dudes need to be by yourself, because women need to feel like they're protected. And they don't need to be, standing there with they thong on and you acting like you got boxers on, you got thong on too, and your pussy bigger than hers. I'm just telling you the real. So, for me, whether it's politics or whatever, I'm not going to change who I am, because things are so messed up that why am I wrong for feeling like the way that I feel? You should be upset with yourself for not being as pissed off as I am. You should be. I mean, think about it right now. We need to send the kids back on campus because they flunked 1 or 2 classes. Who give a fuck about flunking some classes? You only sending them back on the campus not because they flunked the classes, but because the state of Texas don't want to give you no money. So you'd rather you sit there and let somebody sacrifice. See, you telling me about sacrificing, but you will sacrifice your child. You sacrificing your child for an educational component that don't give a damn about them? White, black, whatever. They not sending them back because they flunking classes. They sending them back because the state of Texas don't want to give them that money. So you tell me what's the biggest sacrifice? The dude that's going to fight to make the system change for your child? Or you actually sacrificing your child's health and well-being for a system that don't give a damn about them?
And, speaking of which, you're running for the school board, right?
Yep.
Running for the school board, and you will fight for these people's kids. You will fight for these people's kids, but how many of those people are actually going to show up and vote for you?
No, I'm going to tell you now, it's many nights. It was a core group of us, maybe 5 of us, that, it was us 5 every month at the school board meeting. Be about 400 white folks and 5 Negroes in there. But they ain't going to fight for their kids. They'll cry and complain about what they don't have. See, I would ask somebody when they say a child is not getting a quality education. How you know that? What is a quality education? When the last time we got one? What are you gauging it by? You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I will go in there. Right now, I have no kids in the school system. My kids done graduated out of there. And I'm still fighting. I'm fighting because I know in my heart that these kids don't have a fighting chance without the basic foundation of a quality education under their feet. Regardless if they go to college or trade school, you're not getting to either one of them unless you finish school. Unless you go through some type of schooling to where you can get a GED, you see what I'm saying, or either finish high school. So you got to have that foundation. And if they don't have that foundation, they're done. But then I look at people, and I know it's some real important people watching me speak tonight, you know, because people like, I can't believe he on here. And I look at people, look at how the system is right now. Like today, we find out that all of a sudden, if you're going to run for the board of trustees, that they got to do a background check on you. Well, hold on a second. When the last time a fucking elected official had to do a background check? When you ran for public office. See, man, that move right there, and I'm not scared of it because there's nothing on my background. Let's get that straight. But that's the type of move there that would make me say, I'm going to stay in the process, but I'm not going to do the background check. And if you try to eliminate me because I didn't, I'm going to sue you. Because it's not fair. Whatever you trying to do. No. You just can't do that. And see, that's why I stay in battle with these people, because this is the way that they do it on a daily basis. Oh, you'd be amazed how much they it ain't the state of Texas moving the goalposts some days. It's our own school board trustees, our own local officials moving the goalposts on us. So, you know, it's our own people hurting us.
Yeah, so like I said, I mean, how many people are actually going to show up? You know, because and that's one thing about us, and I hate to say it, as we talk a mean one. Oh, we gonna do this and we gonna do that, and you know, I've delved into politics. I help, you know, manage somebody's campaign, did PR and all of that, and I watched him. Donovan, as a matter of fact, I would watch him and go with him. Go into the neighborhoods and knock on doors and talk to people. I mean, this dude was helping people get leaks in their roofs fixed. I mean, he wasn't even on the seat yet. And he says, okay, he out of his own pocket threw a debate in the forum and all that for the candidates to come. And he put it right in the neighborhood where the people who needed the representation the most, right? Made it easy for they can even just walk down the street. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna come. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. Not one of them showed up. And I'm talking about a lady who had a hole in her roof to where when it rained, the water was just pouring down. She had a bucket and he helped get her roof fixed. She didn't show up. So like I said, people talk a good game, but when it really comes down to it, they don't show up. But then it's like, you're the one that's getting the short end of the stick because you didn't show up to actually vote for people who actually care about you, like care enough about you to knock on your door, come in your house and help you fix a problem that everybody else, they could not make the slumlord, if you will, or they didn't want to make the slumlord fix her issue. But she wouldn't go, and all of the other neighbors, they wouldn't go even to the forum to even hear who they could vote for. So they get stuck with somebody who doesn't care about them. Same old person who ignored the slumlords issues. But yet you got people like you were like, listen, I'm going to go, I'm going to fight for you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And they don't show up. But they have the most reasons to show up. It's mind-boggling to me. I really just don't get it. Especially our people's like, do we like, coming in last place?
I need some water. Well, I tell you what, that I'm gonna need some water. It's sort of like a trade-off. See, I already know they ain't gonna show up. So when they don't show up, that's why I show my naked ass, and I do it the way I choose to do it. You can't complain about how I do it because you ain't showed up. You can't tell me how to do a damn thing if you ain't there standing next to me when it's time to go to war. And I'm telling y'all, that's why I cut up. Some day I show up with pink boxing gloves on. Some days I go to Burger King because it's right across the street from the school district, get me a crown, put it sideways, and tell them I'm the king of this shit. Ain't no telling what I'm going to do because the legend is what it is. But when it comes time to getting the results, I get them. And a lot of people, like Carla said, you need to train other people. I can't put what I got in me inside of somebody else. You gotta want to do this. It's got to be in you to do this. You see what I'm saying? That's just like when D said the subject matter tonight, this is what we're going to talk about. I could have been a punk. Oh, well, D, you know, I done took the meds. I'm tired. No, because this is going to educate some people. So this is a part of what I do. So I got to do this. Now, it's going to be a day this week, I know it, where we ain't going to be able to do the show. It's just, I done had surgery, I can't do it. But knowing me, shit, I come up out of surgery ready to rock and roll. I'm doing video right before I go up under the knife. You know, but that's just how I am. It has to be in you. And it's not in everybody to do this. And I'm not mad at you if it's not in you. Because I get it. This ain't what you were built for. Some of y'all were actually built to be thots and suckers. I'm being honest. Some of y'all were, you know, built to be intellectual black people. And some of y'all were built to be thots and suckers.
Gary, I don't care where you are. You always gonna be even killed. Like you always gonna be the same. Thoughts and suckers. A Paradise, how you doing? She says Monroe is Captain Save Somebody. We will not do love in the zone until you are on your feet. You have to be right. She put the gun.
I already knew my friend there, and y'all would pump the brakes. And that's why I've been developing another show behind y'all back. Oh, I'm gonna do something. You gotta understand, I've been working like this since I was 16 years old. This is all I know. I don't know how to be sick. I just don't. I just knew my dad used to tell me, say, man, it's better to be sick at work and getting paid than to be sick at home and not get shit. So I'd rather be sick at work, is what it is. But yeah, I appreciate the concern, the love. Y'all, it means a lot. I'm telling you. I'm not going to stop eating the pig, Al, so you can stop talking. I'm going to eat it from the rooter to the tutor. As long as I go get the pig out the. How you gonna tell me don't eat the pig? I go to Hawaii, man, and they roasting pigs in the ground and stuff like that, man. Man, that pig was good. Oh, I ain't got them chemicals in them. I eat it from the rooter to the tutor. Feet and all.
The way my veganism is set up, my little purge little thing right there made me want to throw up, but I didn't. But no, and I want you guys to know, in all fairness, I was shocked that he wanted to do it tonight. I just assumed we weren't going to do it. Then the next text I got was, oh, but the show is still going to happen. We still doing the show tonight. I'm like, really? Are you sure? So, you know, I didn't even really bother to try to talk him out of it because I knew, you know, he was dead set on doing it. But I think, you know, he really just wanted to come before you guys, you know, so you could see him and, you know, just get you that's Gary. He ain't gonna tap out at all. You know, he gonna go down swinging. So
but some days this is the only family that I got. And this has been this way for like the last 8 years. They've been with me in every surgery. I take them in there with me. I'm talking about all the way up until they done pumped the stuff in me and I done fell out and they done knocked me out. I take them all the way up in there with me. You know, not for a show, but they the only family that I got. So, you know, I got love for them. And the ones that are new to the game, you know, I respect me, but I got something I got to do. And the one thing that I am big on is once I start something, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to finish it. And some days I just got, like tonight, I just got to rub some dirt on it. We're going to do this show. We're going to do this show, man. And it is what it is. So, you know, but I appreciate it, man. I'm going to see what they talking about in the morning, keep y'all in the loop. And, you know, if we can get up in there tomorrow, man, just going to cut me off and get this shit about me. Just make sure we don't run into no complications after the surgery is over. like we did last time, where you talking about you not gonna feed me until the next morning, because it's not gonna happen. We're gonna have problems.
Well, so I don't know if we'll be here tomorrow, depending if you have your surgery. Now, Gary, you gonna have to, to get some rest, okay? The war zone is always gonna be here. The hood CNN ain't going nowhere. You gonna have to get you some rest after surgery. If you have surgery, I don't care what angle you switch it to. If you have surgery tomorrow, we will not be doing the war zone. Deal? Pinky swear. Right. So let's let you get out of here so you can continue doing what the nurses and the doctors want you to do. So what are you saying closing to everybody?
What I say in closing, man, is find your purpose. I tell you, I live by a creed. You try it, might work for you. God puts you on this earth for a certain amount of time. In that time period, you have to figure out your assignment. Once you figure out your assignment and you turn a blind eye, he shortens your days because you don't serve a purpose. Find out what your purpose is. It ain't just to go shopping in Zydeco. It ain't just to talk shit to your significant other because you feel you can do that. What is your purpose? Why are you here? And then when you figure that out, just run with it. All right, y'all, I'm gonna let my nurse get to it. She bringing me some water. And we gonna kick it tomorrow. If I don't think we're gonna have the surgery tomorrow, but if we do, then it is what it is. It is what it is. And I'm gonna ride y'all all the way up in there until they give me that last shot before they knock me out. And then when I wake up, because y'all be having that good dope in the hospital. I'm talking to my nurse. The last time they pumped me full of that good dope, I don't know what it was, but I woke up sweating thinking I was in Port Arthur, Texas. They got some stuff in here, man. But I'll holler at y'all tomorrow, man. All right, mama.